Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Yang Zhu Emperor looked at the purple 100 net leaf and the E9 laser gun in Luo Feng's hands and frowned. With his position, naturally these items didn't mean much to him. However, he was still shocked that a domain lord level 9 youth had such wealth and ability. Spending money to buy things was impressive, not spending and acquiring these was something else. You sure know how to twist. Yang Zhu Emperor laughed softly. I won't bother you about the flame god origin crystal anymore. Let me ask you, that soul slave sector lord you controlled, what's his name, which universe, country, and star field is he from? Luo Feng was shocked within. Trouble. This was a loophole. Back then I bought a large amount of universe-level salves, one of which was called Tai Wu. Luo Feng's consciousness speed was akin to an AI, instantly picking out a name from a slave from his universe-level and domain lord-level slaves. His talent was exceptional. Yang Zhu Emperor. You should know, back then I was only a star level 9. I had no way to force a universe level to be my slave. And this universe-level slave didn't resist at all, hence. Luo Feng had indeed bought many universe-level slaves. And many had died along multiple incidents, like the poison gas of the mother nest alone had killed a few. In all, the things that happened long ago on Earth, no matter how powerful one was, he wouldn't be able to dig it up. This Tai Wu, as a slave, had no resources at all. His training methods were rough and yet he still reached universe level 9. Later, I passed him a technique. And during the time, I was in the virtual universe company. I gave him the best resources. Luo Feng smiled. Tai Wu very quickly reached domain lord level, and as my soul slave I didn't want to waste his time, making him go straight from domain lord level 1 to 9, after which, his luck was good and he actually broke through to sector lord level. I naturally used my resources to nurture him and bring him along. After all, using a soul slave to do many things is convenient. Yang Zhu Emperor frowned. Before this questioning, naturally he had checked up on Luo Feng as much as he could. However, before the genius competition, Luo Feng was but a normal leader of Earth, plus it was in the dark space. There was no information on it. And these low-level slave transactions were naturally messy. Ah? Yang Zhu looked at him. That time, you already knew soul control techniques. Yes. Luo Feng replied respectfully. What techniques? Yang Zhu continued. He had to get a lead. Soul control techniques were rare, and before Luo Feng was in the virtual universe company, just what techniques could he have? Soul imprint. Luo Feng replied. What is that? Is there such a thing? Yang Zhu frowned. Beside him Long Zhu Emperor smiled. Yang Zhu Emperor, your intel on Luo Feng should have shown that he is flying the Yunmo planet ship. That ship is the Yunmo planet master, Hu Yangbo's ship. Even though there were many undyings in human territories, however any with a little reputation were easy to recall. Undyings had extremely good memory. Luo Feng naturally acquired Hu Yangbo's inheritance. Long Zhu Emperor smiled, and Hu Yangbo had 9 great undyings as his slaves. Many knew about this. Among his slaves, Iron Blade official even got on many people's bad side. Hu Yangbo's technique, which he used to control the 9 undying slaves, was soul imprint. Yang Zhu Emperor frowned. You said back then you summoned 10 sector lord guards. One was your soul slave. The names and identity along with their backgrounds of the other 9, reveal them all. Yang Zhu said. Yang Zhu Emperor, what do you want to ask? Luo Feng frowned. Didn't you hear me? You only need to answer. His eyes gleamed coldly. Luo Feng said respectfully and bowed. Yang Zhu Emperor, the other 9 were 9 Gold Horn race sector lords that followed me to protect me after I was invited into their community a while back. Gold Horn race. Yang Zhu Emperor was boiling with rage. Gold Horn race, they were independent of humanity. Even though they were subservient, however their management and nurture of later generations etc., humanity didn't meddle in them. Hence whatever happened in Laos world was impossible to check. Everyone listened to the order. Yang Zhu Emperor turned to look at the over 100 underlings behind. Over 100 white and purple-robed underlings all awaited his orders. Check the surrounding traces of battle around carefully, any hint and clue, check it all. He ordered. Yes. The white and purple-robed underlings immediately separated and began to investigate the area. I'll stop my questioning here, we'll see from the remains of the battle. Yang Zhu looked at Luo Feng and went silent. Luo Feng kept silent. Luo Feng looked at Long Zhu Emperor, communicating, Long Zhu Emperor, does he have a grudge with me? Why is he deliberately making things difficult? He is making it difficult for you, as for the reason, I don't know. I only know from his character that he may find trouble with you, however this is a bit beyond that. Long Zhu Emperor replied, right. Have you informed your teacher True Yang Emperor of this? Dylan told me he has. In a while I'll go see my teacher in the virtual universe. Luo Feng communicated. After which Luo Feng looked into the distant space. Tens of thousands of kilometers in area, the white and purple-robed underlings flashed about, investigating everything. Luo Feng and Dylan along with the 5 managers, all looked on silently. Place a flame undying weapon shard and pretend it's something suspicious you found. Yang Zhu Emperor instantly communicated to a distant purple-robed undying searching for clues. That was a flame undying too. When he heard the order, he replied, yes lord. After a while, over 100 white and purple-robed underlings flew back, all with some items in their hands. Lord. They all bowed respectfully. The surroundings should be filled with Sector Lord Bug corpses, these are the items that weren't. Yang Zhu Emperor pointed at several items, let's see these. This is a weapon shard with flame lore engravings, it's obviously a commonly used weapon by flame undyings. What if it wasn't the flame god origin crystal's explosion, but the attack of a flame undying? And these items, Luo Feng, how do you explain these? These aren't Sector Lord Bug corpses, obviously they were from somewhere else, can you explain all of them? Luo Feng frowned and said respectfully, Yang Zhu Emperor, there were many Sector Lords that were killed. When one dies, their internal world collapses and large amount of items fly out. How would I know where all these came from? Yang Zhu Emperor smiled coldly, you sure know how to push things aside. From your words, does it mean everything that could be used as evidence can be explained as items from Sector Lord internal worlds crumbling? From start to end, I see how you have been lying. Everything you've said have been unable to be verified. Guards, place Luo Feng in the first starfield hell. He ordered, there, he'll have to answer everything. Beside him, Long Zhu Emperor and the others were all shocked. First starfield hell. The strictest jails in humanity were the legendary the 1st of September and bottom 9 jail hells. The 1st of September were the 1st to 9th hells, normal undyings knew about it. The bottom 9 were from the 10th to 18th, many undyings didn't know about it. 18 starfield hells, they were like the legendary 18 levels of hell. The later it got, the more terrifying. Even an emperor level undying, the moment he was placed in the 18th starfield hell, he probably couldn't survive. The first had the lowest risks, however in comparison, at least to Luo Feng, it was terrifying enough. Yang Zhu Emperor. Luo Feng was raging. Shut up, you don't have a right to speak. Yang Zhu Emperor retorted coldly. I came here to your Wulong starfield to purchase goods. I got attacked. Your attempt to save me was that slow. If it weren't for my own trump cards, I'd long be dead. Luo Feng didn't care about his retorts anymore, raging. I haven't even questioned about your useless protection, and yet you go on over and over questioning me. I've been answering all your questions, and yet you find trouble. Humph. You really think we of the Virtual Universe Company are that easy to bully? Luo Feng said coldly. I will immediately tell my teacher True Yang Emperor of everything, also the organizer of this era's Genius Battle 9-Blade Knight, and lastly to the elder, who had been good to me Qian, Palace leader. I really want to see just how far you of the huge axe dojo dare to treat me, a primal region member of the Virtual Universe Company. Yang Zhu Emperor's face was immediately flushed. The others around were shocked. 9-Blade Knight. Qian Palace leader. They were all Emperor-level undyings, to be managers of Wulong Starfield. They all had huge backgrounds. True Yang Emperor wasn't too much of a threat to them. Nine-Blade Knight was different, and the Tianxia Palace leader was even more of a legend, even more terrifying than Nine-Blade Knight. Tianxia Palace leader. Yang Zhu was shocked within. Even his backing wouldn't dare mess with such a being. Tianxia Palace leader was the man that single-handedly dominated the entire Blood River world, more powerful than many universe country leaders. Blood River world was after all a terrible place where many of the virtual universe company's warriors were killed. One could only imagine his power, even though it wasn't like ancient times. It was still very powerful. For the leader to dominate over the entire world, his strength was already a well-known legend. Humph. No matter what, Luo Feng is still suspicious. How can we let him go? Yang Zhu ordered. Guards, take him to Drizzle Palace and watch him well. Yes. The purple-robed Undying flew over. Long Zhu Emperor and the others didn't say anything. This lockup was a simple house arrest, nothing serious. Yang Zhu Emperor. Luo Feng stared at him. The people of the Huge Axe Dojo sure know how to vent their anger. Your useless management of the Wulong Starfield has resulted in me being attacked, and you still treat me this way. I will definitely let the upper management of the Virtual Universe Company know, including Nine-Blade Knight and Tianxia Palace leader. Hearing those names, Yang Zhu Emperor's eyes twitched. Take him away, lock him up. He shouted. Su. Luo Feng was grabbed by two Undyings and brought into a Purple Universe ship, sent straight to a palace within Wulong Starfield, of which Luo Feng was locked in a small hall. As for Dylan, before beings such as Yang Zhu Emperor, he had no way to resist. Drizzle Palace. It was originally a hall for someone to train in. It slowly became a frequently used place as a lockup. The entire Drizzle Palace was 100 m tall. Its length and width was also several hundred meters. It was completely empty within. Luo Feng sat cross-legged within. Your Majesty, I'm outside. Dylan's undying energy passed through the halls as he communicated, this matter, that Yang Zhu Emperor is too much. He purely seeks to cause trouble for you. They have their own problems in their internal department, and yet they find fault with you. Don't worry, it will be solved very quickly. No problem. Luo Feng sat cross-legged and smiled. Just a small setback, it doesn't mean anything. Suddenly Luo Feng looked down at his wrist communicator. He had received a call request. Teacher. He immediately connected his consciousness to the virtual universe. Virtual Universe Yuxiong Mountain, Primal Region, Luo Feng's villa. A gold-armored ape-man Truyang Emperor was sitting in the hall. Luo Feng suddenly appeared and flew straight in, bowing respectfully. Greetings, teacher. Sit. Truyang smiled and looked at him. Luo Feng Saturday. I already know about your matter, and I've also checked through the records of Wulong Starfield. Truyang looked at Luo Feng. Was whatever you told the knight true? That Casey had indeed attacked you, and there was a flame undying after that. Yes. Luo Feng said respectfully. As for what I told the knight, the core is true. Some smaller details, I don't wish to reveal. The core was indeed all facts. Luo Feng's story about defending against Casey was that of the 10 sector lords. However, he had relied on his own Void Pagoda soul defense. He relied on the golden horned beast to kill the Undying, not the flame god origin crystal. In all, the core was true. Anything that involved the important secrets, he lied slightly. Truyang nodded, not asking any more. As an ancient being that had been around for trillions of years, he was very clear that any absolute genius that could survive in the vast universe all had their own special secrets. He was also very clear that this particular disciple of his had quite a few. The demon note inheritance was one, and before that, he had already guessed that Luo Feng had others. However, everyone had their own secrets. Truyang couldn't possibly get everything out from his disciple. He just needed to confirm that whatever he did, he didn't go overboard. That way, he wouldn't bother about everything else. Since you say that this was an assassination attempt, then there's no problem here. Truyang smiled, had a sense of pride. No matter what, you are still a genius of the Virtual Universe Company. No matter how tyrannical that Yang Zhu is, he doesn't have the right to determine the fate of our members. Luo Feng let out a sigh of relief. Tell me your exact conversation with Yang Zhu. Truyang said. Yes, teacher. Luo Feng immediately repeated the entire story to him. Tru Yang immediately laughed when he heard, "Ha ha, you sure know how to throw in names. Throwing in Nine-Blade Knight is good enough. After all, when you become undying, you will become his underling. You even used Tianxia Palace's leader's name, ha ha ha." Hearing his name, that Yang Zhu must have been very shocked. Is the leader that powerful? Luo Feng asked seriously, stronger than even Nine-Blade Knight? Tianxia Palace leader, he rules over that palace and dominates over Blood River world for trillions of years. Tru Yang's eyes had a gleam of respect. That is much stronger than any universe country leader or knight. Is the true upper echelon of the virtual universe company. You were extremely lucky when he gave you some guidance back then. Luo Feng was shocked. His teacher's words confirmed that Tianxia Palace leader's position was amazing. Right, teacher, why did that Yang Zhu emperor target me? Luo Feng asked suspiciously. I've never seen him before. It's my fault. Tru Yang's eyes had a glimpse of disdain. He mocked, that Yang Zhu, in terms of comprehension, aptitude, talent, everything is actually average. If no one gave him guidance, if he trained on his own, even becoming a sector lord would have been extremely hard. However, he has a very powerful father, a true genius of the huge axe dojo. He is also currently Shihua Knight of the dojo. Shihua Knight? Luo Feng was stunned. Tru Yang exclaimed, that is a true absolute genius, not even weaker than the Kudii I mentioned before. Sector Lord Pinnacle, he could kill official level undyings. After he broke through, he immediately became an emperor level undying, and tens of thousands of years after, he became a knight. Luo Feng was shocked. Shihua Knight only had one son. You could say he spent endless resources and energy. Tru Yang exclaimed, to make his son Yang Zhu stay in the sector lord level, making him take his time there and not break through. He stayed there for a total of over 9 million years. Luo Feng was shocked. Long Zhu Emperor had said Yang Zhu was a genius before, becoming an official level undying straight after breaking through. However, now after hearing this, he actually stayed in the sector lord level for over 9 million years. Human sector lords only had lifespan of 1,000 eras. Terrifyingly valuable treasures, even treasures that knights would go mad for. Shihua Knight didn't even use them himself, he gave all of them to his son. Tru Yang said. What? Luo Feng was shocked. Did you see the mysterious engraving on Yang Zhu's forehead? That's the mark of that treasure. Tru Yang exclaimed. Luo Feng immediately recalled his first meeting with Yang Zhu, seeing that mysterious engraving on his forehead. It had indeed given off an ancient energy. Endless resources and treasures, along with treasure that even knights would go mad for, they were all used on this sector lord back then. Tru Yang exclaimed, just his body alone, it was raised to perfection from his father's treasures. Hence is that beautiful, training for 9 million years at sector lord level along with countless treasures. How could he not be strong? Becoming official pinnacle straight after breaking through, that's completely average. Tru Yang shook his head. Even normal undyings, with those treasures would immediately reach official pinnacle. Ah! Luo Feng was shocked. From this, that Yang Zhu wasn't a genius at all. He simply had an absolute genius and incredibly powerful father. Tru Yang mocked. As for himself, he's purely a petty spoilt brat that had been pampered too much by his father. He's always jealous of true geniuses. That's why back then when I rose up, he battled me. However, I taught him a good lesson. I didn't care about anything else. Luo Feng laughed. He kept losing when he challenged me. I couldn't do anything about it. Every time we fought, he would lose, hence we became enemies. Tru Yang shook his head, and with his petty character, it wouldn't be strange if he sought trouble with you. 1. You are a genius too. 2. He hates me to the bone, however he can't do anything to me, hence he would naturally take it out on the disciple I favor. I actually already saved him some humiliation. There were several losses that I didn't even announce, mainly not to get on his father's bad side. His father is a true formidable person. Over 1 trillion years, yet his power is still unfathomable. His position in the huge axe dojo is extremely high. Luo Feng nodded. Not even taking 10,000 years to become emperor level undying, tens of thousands of years to become a knight. over 1,000,000,000 years, his power would definitely be even more shocking. No wonder he's that tyrannical, no wonder Long Ju Emperor and the others, all with their own backgrounds, kept empowering him. Luo Feng thought, it's purely because of his powerful father that forced him to emperor level. His father must have paid a hefty price. Not even using the treasure for himself, but on his son. You have to bear with this matter for now. Tru Yang smiled. No matter how strong that Shihua Knight is, he is still from the huge Axe Dojo. If their people can so blatantly bully our virtual universe company people, our company will definitely not back down. Luo Feng nodded. This involved exchanges between the two Leviathans. No matter how unwilling that Yang Zhu is, he will still have to let you go. Tru Yang said, however you have to wait, until the upper echelon says so. Luo Feng understood that Yang Zhu Emperor had Shihua Knight behind him. His teacher Tru Yang Emperor was but a being close to becoming a knight, compared to that Shihua Knight that had been in training for trillions of years. Their positions were on completely different levels. This matter, his teacher's appearance alone would probably not be enough. After all, Yang Zhu hated Tru Yang to the bone. He definitely wouldn't show him any respect. Wulong Starfield, within a majestic palace. Tru Yang's disciple actually dared to act out before me. The beautiful-looking Yang Zhu's face was twitching, his eyes burning with hate, recalling his many exchanges with Tru Yang before. Tru Yang was arrogant and aggressive, not afraid of anything. Shihua Knight's son was still stepped on by him. Yang Zhu Emperor must have had it bad back then. After being humiliated, if Tru Yang didn't think about Shihua Knight, he would probably have just killed Yang Zhu back then. Humph. Tru Yang Emperor. I didn't expect your disciple to be as arrogant as you. You two are completely alike. Never mind, your disciple has already been put on the list here. Even if he escapes this time, there will be time to deal with him in the future. Yang Zhu's eyes gleamed coldly. After living for so many years, other than his father's punishments, no other person had dared humiliate him like that. Back when he was trampled, he was driven mad, even howling to his father before, kill Tru Yang, kill him. If he doesn't die, I'll die. As long as he's there, I cannot exist. His father Shihua Knight's reply was throwing his son into the 9th Starfield Hell. For a total of 1,000 years, he was much better when he returned. Even though he was still as petty and ruthless, it was not as unbridled as before. On the day Luo Feng was locked up, within Virtual Universe's Thunder Island, in a completely black palace that gave off a terrifying aura. Beneath the palace, Long Ju Emperor knelt respectfully there, his head on the ground itself. Shihua's son keeps picking trouble with Tru Yang. A thick powerful voice resounded throughout the endless palace. There were crackling noises. However, he's stupid to find trouble with Luo Feng. He is after all one of the top 10 seedlings recognized from the other geniuses. To make him suffer without any evidence etc. from this matter, that's a joke. In the throne above, an ugly life form covered completely in black scaled armor with a pair of horns on his head. This tall and sturdy scaled life form sat there, his right claw terrifyingly sharp. He casually brushed the armrest, creating the ear-piercing sound. He gave off a formless pressure that emanated throughout. It made people shudder from within. It made people fear him. His finger casually scratching of the rest, he ordered, "Give the order, release Luo Feng." Yes. Long Ju Emperor knelt there, not looking up at all. He instantly vanished from the virtual universe. Wulong Starfield, the majestic castle in which Yang Zhu Emperor stayed and welcomed a guest, Long Ju Emperor. Tian, why are you here? The beautiful Yang Zhu Emperor was lying in a chair of the 9th floor. Beside him 2 beautiful and sexy fantasy spirit ladies were giving him a massage. He sat in a spot where he could see out into the endless space outside, even to the distant endless amounts of floating goods. Yang Zhu Emperor. Long Ju Emperor walked over and said seriously, "The top has given the orders to release Luo Feng." Top? Which top? Yang Zhu looked up and glanced at him. "My direct superior, Yumo Knight." Long Ju Emperor said. Yang Zhu's eyes twitched when he heard the name. The universe was vast. Every universe country leader and knight were still few in numbers. It took extremely long periods of time for one to be born or produced. There were only those few, and amongst them, there were differences in rankings and position. If one said Tian Sha Palace's leader was a legend, staying within Tianxia Palace, not making a move for trillions of years. Relying solely on his name to dominate. Then Yumo Knight was a bloody legend. His name was completely built on slaughter and killing, even his terrifying body wasn't natural, it changed after his self-created technique morphed it into the best killing construct. He was definitely known, within the virtual universe company as a god of death. I know what to do. Yang Zhu Emperor frowned. Yang Zhu Emperor. Long Zhu smiled, waving his hand for the two fantasy spirit ladies to leave. Yang Zhu looked at him. Long Zhu Emperor smiled, we have been together for endless periods of times, I've hardly ever overstepped you. However, this Luo Feng is after all one of the heavily favored geniuses from this generation, within our virtual universe company, we only lost 10 million mixed elements, this small lose would definitely never equate to the loss of an absolute genius. Thanks. Yang Zhu Emperor's eyes gleamed. He could hear it. Long Zhu Emperor was hinting at him, Luo Feng was one of the exceptional geniuses of this batch of geniuses, referring to all the geniuses in Yuxiong Mountain currently, without any guarantee, it was best not to mess with him. Otherwise it would enrage the upper echelon of the virtual universe company. Ha ha, then I'll be leaving. Long Zhu Emperor smiled and left. Yang Zhu got up personally and sent him off. After a while, Yang Zhu returned to that stone throne draped with the Devil Clan royalty's 9 mist beast skin, he lay in the soft skin and closed his eyes. This Long Zhu Emperor sure is scheming, he plays the good guy on both sides. He muttered to himself. The 5 managers all represented the 5 Leviathans. The moment a deal exceeded 1 million mixed elements, the 5 would have to audit it together. Over the long periods of time, naturally they formed their own understanding. Like Yang Zhu Emperor's strength, made the others give him some leeway. Normally they wouldn't mess with him. Like the smaller deals. Or to deal with some punks. Against Luo Feng however, Long Zhu Emperor had a bottom line, like if Yang Zhu insisted on sending him to the first Starfield jail hell, he would definitely not agree to it. However, as long as Yang Zhu didn't cross that line, Long Zhu would naturally let certain things slide. No matter what, his relationship with Luo Feng was shallow, he would allow Yang Zhu to do anything as long as it didn't go overboard. However, the moment a big deal was involved, no one would go soft. Anything involving the Leviathan's reputation, then these were things they wouldn't back off on. The small matter of locking Luo Feng was but a little ruckus. It's a pity I didn't find any proof. Yang Zhu's eyes gleamed fiercely, if I could falsify evidence to show it was Luo Feng's ploy, that he killed those guards and stole up to 10 million mixed elements worth of bug corpses, then it'd be over for him, the proud disciple would be killed, Tru Yang would definitely be enraged. Hee. Tru Yang, don't be too proud now. His expression warped slightly, I have patience, I will definitely make you suffer, and kill you. As long as I accomplish this, I'm willing to die for it. His eyes gleamed madly, people had always let him get his way, with his father's presence, even the powerful beings were friendly to him, this way of life had spanned over tens of millions of years, it was ingrained within him. Until he met Tru Yang Emperor. The violent and intrepid Tru Yang. The one that never submitted to anybody. His greatest blow, standing up over and yet being defeated time and again, even being trampled on, it had caused him to descend into madness. Back then he even howled to his father those words, kill Tru Yang, kill him, if he's not dead, I will die. I cannot live when he's alive. However, his father Shahua Knight simply sent him to the 9th Starfield jail hell. A nightmare for 1,000 years. Within the jail hell for 1,000 years, many blows were much worse than what Tru Yang had dealt to him, it was simply like hell. However, those blows made him hate Tru Yang even more, he believed that everything was because of Tru Yang, the source was him. When he came out of the prison, he had become more steady, however deep within he still madly believed in his one target. Make Tru Yang suffer, kill him. I want to make him feel fear, regret and suffer because of me. If I accomplish it, I'll die with no regrets. Wei Nien. Yang Zhu Emperor lay in his throne and said softly. A demonic silhouette appeared. Master. The silhouette bowed. Head to Luo Feng's home, Earth. Yang Zhu ordered. You don't need to do anything. Just hide one of my undying crystals there. Leave now. Yes, master. The demonic figure replied respectfully. Whom? Jade green lights engulfed the area, and the space rippled. A space pathway instantly appeared and vanished. The demonic figure had left Wulong Starfield via her god country teleportation. True Yang Emperor, I'm an undying, I have time, let's take it slow. He smiled a perfect smile. Drizzle Palace. Luo Feng sat cross-legged within, his consciousness within his internal world. Within the vast internal world, the black-clothed Luo Feng was floating above the endless sea. Bug Clan Island, form. Black-clothed Luo Feng pointed down at the endless ocean. Immediately the waters began to churn and howl, with crackling noises. They split apart, and pure world energy gathered. 100,000 kilometers area of sea had become endless world energy, after which they came together to form continuous rock. The endless world energy in the air poured in. In an instant, an island with a diameter of 100,000 kilometers was formed. There was mud, grass, mountains, canyons, rivers, etc. It was a very normal continent world. Alina, from today on, you'll live here. The black-clothed Luo Feng ordered, wielding a world ring. Alina was within, transferring her from the center continent to this new island. Yes, master. The Queen Alina and the Mother Nest landed simultaneously in the island. These are 300 sector Lord Bugkin units. From what I estimate, you should be able to produce 3 million tiger armored bug soldiers. He said, retrieving large amounts of bug corpses from his world. Even within his internal world, Luo Feng couldn't teleport. Unable to instantly bring her from the center continent over, he had to use a storage device to bring her over. 300 units. Alina was curious. Every sector Lord Bug Corpse unit is made of 100,000 sector Lord Pinnacle Bug Corpses. Luo Feng explained, the large amount of corpses piled up beside, it became a mountain formed from 30 million sector Lord Pinnacle Bug Corpses. Wow! The Queen's eyes gleamed, she was getting excited. How's your speed in producing sector Lord Pinnacle Tiger armored bugs? Luo Feng asked. I can produce 10 a day. She said, every sector Lord Pinnacle bug has incredible amounts of energy, hence the speed is slow. If it were creating star-level bugs, I can produce them infinitely from the caves in my mother nest. 10 a day. Over 3,000 a year. It'll take 300 years to produce a million sector Lord Army, anyway my training will take long. Luo Feng nodded, then you should begin now. Yes, master. The Queen Alina was obviously very excited with anticipation. She flew within the mother nest, after which that over 800-meter tall round ball floated into the sky, diving into the mountain of corpses. It began producing. The black-clothed Luo Feng watched on silently. After a little over 2 hours, the mountain of corpses slightly shook, and a malevolent bug over 10 stories tall climbed out. It was covered in incredibly thick armor, powerful and intrepid. This sector Lord Pinnacle Tiger armored bug jumped down when it saw Luo Feng. With a rumble it landed on the ground. It was extremely respectful before Luo Feng. The first tiger armored bug. Luo Feng's eyes were filled with glee. Million sector Lord Army. Luo Feng seemed like he was staring at endless amounts of sector Lord Tiger armored bugs. His blood boiled within as he anticipated excitedly. As for acquiring the corpses from Wulong Starfield's debris, Luo Feng didn't feel any sense of regret from that. When one reached a level of mental stability as Luo Feng's, one would see everything clearly. As for knowing oneself, he saw through the mess, he wouldn't deceive himself. Heart like a mirror, seeing clearly through the mud. Knowing oneself and staying true. Luo Feng was clear on himself, ever since he left Earth to explore the universe, as the strongest of Earth, especially with all the deception in the universe, seeing ancient families get destroyed, entire planets enslaved, even the Goldhorn race being subservient. Their unwillingness and unhappiness from deep within their bones. Luo Feng felt a sense of danger. I have to get strong. I have to give my all, fighting for my root. If the root dies, how can the leaves survive? Back then, when Luo Feng decided to sacrifice himself with the golden horned beast, he had already taken Earth to be his root. maybe he was strong and had far exceeded the entire earth. However, his root was earth. If the earth were to perish one day, with all his comrades dying, what would be the meaning in his life of solitude after? Luo Feng knew himself. Back when he immolated his soul to fight the golden horned beast, he knew it already. He had to be a guard. He had to protect his home, his root, earth. Progress, never-ending progress. I need to keep getting stronger. I will give my all. His eyes were like blades, solid and piercing. The path to becoming strong may result in many situations, like the assassination attempt from the Bug Clan assassin, that flame undying self-destructing and destroying large amounts of bug corpses. Under such circumstances, Luo Feng easily made the decision to grab away 300 units of bug corpses. It probably had no effect whatsoever to the entire Wulong starfield, however to his growth, it was a huge benefit, and it didn't harm anybody. Why not? Anything that harmed others, he would rarely do. However, if it involved the survival of Earth, even if it meant a few innocent lives, he would slaughter without hesitation. He knew his own heart, doing things without hesitation, straight to the point. Taking away those bug corpses. Slaughtering, so what? Knowing oneself, staying true to it. Only with a steady heart, not affected by outside influence, whether it was to become a slaughtering demon, or a perfect kind person, or an evil person, as long as one was true to his heart, he would go far in his training. And even so, this path was still filled with dangers, like how Luo Feng almost died this time. There was knocking on the palace's door. Luo Feng, you can come out. Long Ju Emperor's voice resounded. Luo Feng, who was sitting crossed-legged within Drizzle Palace, opened his eyes. They gleamed with glee within. Part 1 end here.